385,400 stars. 81,000 forks. A repository that didn't exist 9 months ago. OpenClaw is a personal AI assistant. It lives on your machine and meets you where you already are. WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, Discord, Signal, iMessage. Here's the line almost nobody reads past the install command. Quote, "Your AI assistant can execute arbitrary shell commands, read and write files, access network services, and send messages to anyone." End quote. That's from OpenClaw's own security page, and by default, all of that runs directly on your machine. The design is one gateway, a local control plane sitting between three things. Models, so it can use whichever provider you point it at. Channels, so it reaches you on the messaging apps you actually use. And tools, shell, files, browser, and whatever plugins you add. It's built for a single operator. One person, one assistant, running on hardware you own. That's the pitch, and it's a genuinely good one. No cloud vendor holding your conversations, no subscription gatekeeping what it can do, which is exactly why what runs unguarded matters more here than almost anywhere else. So what does unguarded actually mean? Quote, again from OpenClaw's own docs. Tools run on the host for the main session unless you configure sandboxing. End quote. Not the sandboxed session, the main one, the one you're actually talking to. Shell commands execute directly on your operating system. File reads and writes touch your real file system. Network calls go out from your real machine. There's no invisible fence around any of that until you build one yourself. And the assistant doesn't only take instructions from you. It reads things, web pages, search results, emails, attachments, pasted logs and code. Quote, any untrusted content it reads can carry adversarial instructions. End quote. A web page it fetches for you can contain text aimed at the model, not at you, and the model can't always tell the difference. Combine that with host-level tool access, and a malicious page isn't just annoying, it's a request with your permissions. Which brings us to the setting that actually matters. agents.defaults.sandbox.mode. 3 values, off, non-main, or all. The documented default is off, and even when you do turn it on, only tool execution moves into the sandbox. The gateway process itself always stays on the host. Sandboxing is opt-in, layered on top of a design that assumes you'll get to it. When you do turn it on, it's real isolation, not theater. Docker or Podman containers, read-only root file system, every capability dropped, no network egress by default. OpenClaw's own docs are honest about the limits too. Quote, this is not a perfect security boundary, but it materially limits file system and process access when the model does something dumb. End quote. That's the accurate way to describe any sandbox, not a guarantee. A materially smaller blast radius. To be fair, one guardrail is on by default. Unknown senders get a pairing code, and the assistant ignores them until you approve it. Codes expire after an hour. That stops a stranger from just messaging your bot and getting a response. It does nothing about a page you asked it to fetch, or a document you asked it to read, the 2 vectors that actually carry adversarial instructions. OpenClaw's own security guide has 2 warnings worth repeating exactly. Never expose the gateway unauthenticated on 0.0.0.0, and prompt injection resistance is not uniform across model tiers. Smaller, cheaper models are more susceptible to tool misuse and instruction hijacking. So, 3 things before you connect this to your real messaging apps. Turn on sandbox mode. Off is the default, not a recommendation. Treat anything the model fetches as a potential instruction, not just data. And don't run a cheap model on a tool-enabled agent that reads the open web. 385,000 people starred this. Read the security page before you're one of them.